be Hebrew because they was Egyptian, was beating on him. Some of y'all know the story. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Moses killed the man. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. He was a fugitive. Okay. But there's some things in your life or my life, whoever who is listening today, that only you know that flares up. But Moses had that anger problem, and he ran. I mean, no, we can run, but we can't hide. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we want to run from people, but you can't run from God. Isn't that something? God know where you are and how to get to you. Mm-hmm. He know how to get what? Your attention. So just to give you the history, even though he had that temper, it still got him in trouble. The anger or the rage. Because he couldn't take the children of Israel to the promised land. Mm. So he just viewed it. He just looked at it. Isn't that right, Dunn? He just viewed it. He looked at it, but he couldn't cross over. And when the Lord told him, as a matter of fact, he called God's people rebels. He got angry at God's people, you know. Mm-hmm. But also, Moses was the meekest man in the earth. He was a prophet of God. And God spoke to Moses as what? Face to face. And we talked about, Kimmy, last time we were setting, we talked about the prophet ministry, how the prophet operates. People think that a prophet is one just, prophet is one just to speak things and, get in the prayer line. That's not a prophet. The prophet, one, he speaks the heart of God, speaks the mind of God. So God had deep intimacy with Moses. Had an encounter. Moses had an encounter. But he had a problem. Sometimes we can miss God and God will replace us. How many know God can replace you?
Oh, yeah.
I said, if we're not obedient, God can replace us. So God replaced Moses, even though he came to the plateau of his life where his temper got in the way. His anger got in the way. He needed anger management. In today's society, because when you go to court and they say, well, he got an anger problem, what did they do? They put you in anger management to control your anger. Well, back then Moses didn't have that. Didn't have anger management, right? Right. So he had to deal with the what? Consequences. Mm-hmm. Now he's a fugitive, got a man killed, running from God, and then all of a sudden God has exposed him. And y'all know the story. So God raised up Moses to be what? A forerunner for who? God raised up Moses so the people can come out of what? Egypt. Out of bondage. And then God will raise up another leader to take us to the next level. So the cry went out. Moses cried to God, Pharaoh, let my people go. Ain't that what it said? Mm-hmm. And Pharaoh hardened his heart. I mean, when God gives you words, you got to say just what God said. Mm-hmm. Did Moses change his message? No. What was his message? Every time he went to God, he said, God said, let my people go. Yeah. Ain't that what he said? Mm-hmm. And the more, guess what? The more consistent Moses was, the more did what? And the Bible said, and God hardened what?
Pharaoh's heart.
God will harden your enemy heart, But Moses didn't stop. He was persistent. He was faithful to the call. That's why when you call to the ministry, you got to know for yourself, not because of school, not because of a certificate. Everybody can be called into the ministry. It's things with that territory. Everybody can't be a leader. Come on, y'all, watch this. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be called into that place to lead God's people. So he was persistent in the call, even though he had to get Aaron, and then what he said, to be a spokesman. And we try to make excuses.